start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go is perfect.
When they lose their front shoulders, you start, that's how you know it's moving.
Went about 5-10 more yards. He probably went 20 yards total. Stepped over, tried getting back up. And I saw him pull up.
We rushed 40 years rods that night. We got like 156 and something like that. And then the next day we came out to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
What is going on, everybody? I'm being told it is episode 59 today, and Nick and Tom are both here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
And I don't know, we were talking before, we didn't really come to a conclusion. Do we have anything to talk about before we get into it?
No, there's no housekeeping. We floors are mopped, garbage is taken out.
Just keep buying merch. That's the only thing.
That's the one main thing. Tom's looking at us like there's definitely some housekeeping. Did you not clean the bathrooms?
What did we just talk about before the podcast? What we're going to start doing?
Oh, I thought we were going to keep it a secret.
Well, then
honestly,
how are people going to know about it?
Well, it's going to be a secret for now because we haven't started it. But we are.
Well, you can't tell them the day of. You got to give them a little
I guess
heads up.
We're known for putting things out there to put some pressure down. So, Tom, I like your style. Why don't, since you decided to bring this to fruition, what are we going to be doing?
Don't push it off on him. This is your idea.
All right, fine. Unless he wants to.
Well, so our motto, I don't know if it's our motto.
It's a motto.
Mission statement.
Mission statement
is bringing you to the table while we talk about the outdoors. So in the near future, and near being very broad.
It's going to be near.
It's not going to be next week, but maybe
near.
2 weeks.
2,
3
Sometime.
weeks. 6 months.
6 months.
This
tops.
quarter.
We are literally going to be bringing you, not literally, virtually to the table while we talk about the outdoors. What we're going to start doing is we're going to get a webcam, and Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, that's our podcast time. We're going to go live on Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube. We haven't decided that yet, but
one of the platforms.
Probably YouTube, because in case if somebody doesn't have social media, you can. I mean, it happens.
Who is that?
It happens.
Anyways, we're going to get a webcam going Wednesdays at 6 o'clock during our podcast. So all of our followers, if they choose, can tune in with us.
Have a beer.
Ask a few questions.
Interact. Yeah. You're going to be brought to the table.
And we're still going to release that episode Sunday at the normal time.
Yeah, but if you're, just can't wait till Wednesdays, 6 o'clock.
Sundays?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So basically, if you're just, scrolling and you're like, hey, White Cat's live, let me join in for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty new and exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very new and exciting.
It's a shame Nick didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I was going to keep it in the dark, but, in White Cat fashion, we're going to put the cart in front of the horse, so we have to figure it out. That's how everything's gone. The release of the podcast, new intros, everything. We announce it before it's even close, and it just puts the
Sometimes the
on.
best way to figure out how to do something is by doing it anyway.
Diamonds are made under pressure, baby.
Exactly. So speaking of new and exciting, that's basically what we're talking about tonight.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
New and exciting equipment that we used.
Yeah. So this year,
not so exciting.
Yeah, this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. It could be ugly, but basically all three of us have used some different gear this year. It's fun to try out new gear every year, and we were just going to kind of go through after a full season of use what we liked and didn't like about it. Because I think, when somebody just pulls it out of the box, for an unboxing, I don't think you really get a very accurate representation of what that product
they don't really
is.
know. They just look at it and get first
impressions. Yeah. So we hunt quite a bit throughout the year, a couple different states and stuff. So we put this stuff through the ringer for a full season, and I feel like we can each give an educated opinion on what we used. So that's just kind of, if you're looking at getting new gear for next year, now's the time, because there's a lot of people selling stuff on Facebook, including myself. I've been dumping some gear. So yeah, just crack a beer with us, and we're just going to talk a little bit of gear.
What do you want to talk about first?
Well, since we all got new mobile setups,
I say we talk about it last.
That makes a lot of sense. Perfect, Frank. Well, I'm the only one sitting at the table that dove into the saddle game this year. So I guess that would be a good spot for me to start.
And I haven't used a saddle, so I can kind of poke around and see what you were thinking and like thoughts that I have from someone that's never used one.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are super skeptical.
Saddle
about
hunting
saddles.
is getting huge.
Yeah.
It's the next big thing, if you will. I mean, some people would say it's changing the game.
Yeah.
Game changer.
I would say it's not a game. Like, I feel like that
it's
term
laughable.
It gets
like
thrown
booner.
around too often.
It's literally like the term booner.
Yeah. Yeah. Any big buck's a booner. 120 is a booner anymore.
But I think, in my opinion, before we get into gear, saddle hunting is a useful tactic to use, but it is not the end-all be-all. I think there's a time and a place for it, just like there's a time and a place for climbers, lock-ons, ladders, and even ground blinds. I don't think there's any tactic out there that will cover all bases in any scenario. That being said, I tried out the Tethered Menace this year, which is new to Tethered.
That's the saddle?
Yeah, that's the saddle. That was new to Tethered's lineup this year. It's actually designed for bigger guys, so that was kind of what made me go after that, because I started with a rock climbing harness. And the rock climbing harness was okay. But it's
I
not
use a rock climbing harness just for
as a
setup.
lineman belt.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, the rock climbing harness is okay, but I noticed after an hour or so, the rock climbing harness gets pretty uncomfortable when all of your weight's being put into it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Just in the couple minutes it takes me to do my mobile setup with the sticks and stand, it's not uncomfortable, but I'm only in it for 5 minutes, so I could definitely see where your uncomfort would come from sitting in it for an hour or two.
Yeah, and even like
4 hours.
all summer long, I literally would, after work, I'd get out, I'd get 3 foot off the ground with a platform and just sit in a saddle and just see what it was like. I'd shoot targets all around me, just trying to get used to it.
Run yourself through different scenarios.
I did for a while with the rock climbing harness, and I was like, I got to get something better. And right around that time is when Tethered came out with the Menace, which was a saddle designed for bigger guys. It has more cupping, is what they call it, basically, for a larger rear end, if you will. So I went with that saddle and instantly understood why they're better than a rock climbing harness. Like if you're going to use it as a full-on saddle. I absolutely love the Tethered Menace. The only thing I can complain about is that the bridge is not adjustable. And the bridge is it's the rope that's on the front of the saddle that goes to the tree. Typically, they're adjustable with like a Prusik knot, or some people use like mechanical stuff like a rope man, which is what I switched over to eventually. But the Tethered Menace comes standard with I think a 30-inch bridge, and it's non-adjustable. The reason they did that is because, one, to keep costs down, and two, bigger guys typically are going to want a bigger bridge, because the smaller your bridge is, the tighter it gets in your hips. So big guys not going to want a super small, short bridge.
Yeah.
So I understand why they did it, but I wanted the adjustability, so I ended up cutting it and putting one on. It's not like a huge...
Easy modification.
Oh, easy mod. Yeah, I literally went on Amazon, bought some climbing rope and a rope man, and set to go. So I really, really like the Tethered Menace. Anybody that's interested in getting into saddle hunting that's a little bit bigger, I would recommend that saddle 100%. It's extremely comfortable, and I even noticed my biggest thing with saddle hunting is I didn't think it would be like an all-day sit, like a rut style stand.
Yeah.
And I was proven wrong, essentially. It's very comfortable. I feel like I move more a little bit in a saddle when it comes to like swinging, but in a lock-on, I'm constantly like standing, sitting, back and forth. So I don't know if it's any different. But
You're just moving differently.
It's moving different, yeah. I'm not one of those people that can stand the entire day or sit the entire day. I have to change position.
I'm a stander. I stand almost the entire time I'm in my stand. That's why I thought I would be okay with a saddle, because you are more standing. You're just kind of leaning back.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think the saddle, if you're looking to use it as like a full-on saddle, not like a hybrid, I would highly recommend getting an actual saddle and not just the rock climbing harness. And then platforms, I used 2 different platforms. I used the Lone Wolf Custom Gear Ambush, and
That was new.
last year, and it was okay. I ended up selling it. Just wasn't thrilled with the finish on it for what the price tag was. It's like almost $300. And the finish was trash, honestly. Like for that price tag, it should not have looked that beat up. And I went to a trophy line mission, which was also new this year. Roughly the same size. Ran that for a while, and it was okay, but didn't bite to the tree as well as the Lone Wolf Ambush did. So I ended up, they upgraded the Ambush. They redid the finishes on it. They beveled the back end, basically fixed everything I complained about.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to an Ambush and really like it. So if anybody's looking to buy a trophy line or a trophy line mission platform, I'm selling one. And they're out of stock right now. So if you want one, get one real quick.
Only place you can get it is right here.
The finish on that one was really good, and it bites to the tree okay. It's just I don't know what it was about it. It just didn't seem to bite as nice as the Ambush.
Yeah.
But I think it's because the Ambush, you can put 2 straps to it instead of 1. And I don't know. I think it's a preference thing.
The Ambush is the Lone Wolf. What was the trophy line?
Mission.
Okay.
Yeah, they're roughly the same size platform, and the weight difference is negligible. Like
when it's something that small, I feel like.
I mean, they're both sub 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like
there can't be that much parity in something that small.
no. One little thing: if you're not packing them in a backpack, the Ambush does pack better because it's totally flat on the back. There's like a 2.5-inch rise in the back of the Mission that digs into your spine. If you put it into a pack though, it's not a problem. Or if you hang it off your belt, which a lot of guys are doing now with like 3D printer hooks.
Yeah.
Like I said, both of them were good, and for the money, I think the Mission's probably your better
Can
option.
you easily tether your sticks to the Mission? Because I know you can with the Lone Wolf.
It depends on what what sticks you're using. If you use like the Mission or like the trophy line sticks, which are powered by Novix, there's like grooves built right into the platform, so they strap in really easy. And I mean, it's not as compact as the Ambush with custom gear sticks.
Yeah.
But you're talking a fraction of the price. So a Mission platform is like $189, $190, and the sticks I think are like $140 for a set, and you're talking $400 plus $300 on the Lone Wolf custom gear. So if money's a big factor, I would say stick with trophy line. But if money's not a factor and you're trying to go with the absolute streamlined product, I think Lone Wolf custom gear is something that's definitely worth looking at.
Yeah.
The finish has definitely gotten better on it. I'm still not sold on it because they're sharp as hell. I think that's a big drawback. For whatever reason, the edges are super sharp, which I'll get into that on the stand too. But that's all the saddle gear I used this year. I mean, all of it was definitely usable, and I enjoyed it. But I mean,
overall, thumb up or thumb down?
Oh, thumb up for sure on everything I used. Even the rock climbing harness has its place, and maybe for a smaller guy like you, it wouldn't be an issue. But the extra waist I have, that
yeah, you got a little more waist than I do.
Yeah, so it doesn't. It's not as comfortable.
Yeah,
but the old Menace fixes that. So Tommy, you're awfully quiet over there. Look like Cheech over there. But
he does.
Tom's got his orange knit hat above his headphones tonight.
Warm.
It looks good.
Thank you. So some gear I used.
You've been quiet this entire time. You wait to sip as soon as you start.
Some gear I used the XOP stand.
Well, yeah, so you've been a mobile hunter as well, but you switched it up out of a climber this year.
So let me tell you a little story. Big summit climber guy. It's been my A1 since day one, as they say.
Comfort is unmatched.
Yeah, you definitely
100%
get the comfort.
unmatched. Most comfortable stand I have ever hunted in. It will forever be my all-day rifle sitting stand. It's just more comfortable than any ladder I've ever been in. But I had a little issue in bow season this year with my climber. For those of you that are unfamiliar with how they work, basically it's two separate parts. There's a bottom platform and then a top seat with a shooting rail. And on each of those, there is a V on the back with teeth that bites to the tree, and a strap that goes along the top.
It's like a steel cable on most of them, yeah.
Yeah, for obviously to strap it to the tree. So there I was up in my bow stand, and had this.
And Tom swears by climbers. When me and Frank switched over to lock-ons and stuff.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, we'll get way off track. Go ahead, Tom.
There I was in my bow stand, and I have this nice buck coming, just how I thought he would. He cut across the swamp.
Read the script.
He did. He really did read the script. Until the crucial moments. So
Until the good part.
yeah, so there's this thick bedding and some hardwoods, a big swamp, and then there's me hunting a fresh scrape that wasn't there 2 days ago.
Oof.
Yeah. Like Nick says, actually I don't know.
I can't take credit for that. It's Dan Infault.
Dan Infault says,
Yeah, it's...
hunt hot sign when hot sign's hot. So that's what I was doing.
I could not take credit for that because it's actually a guy I really want to get on here. And if you were to ever listen and hear me trying to take credit for that, it would not go over well.
You're like,
So
hell with those guys. I'm not
That's
doing
all
that.
Dan Infault. He's
Nick's
a really...
where I heard it. Dan is the man.
He's the big buck serial killer. That's literally the nickname he's been given.
Yeah.
That is anything...
Whoa.
Yeah.
So as Dan would say, I was hunting hot sign when hot sign was hot. And this buck comes out of the bedding. I watch him cut across the hardwoods right into the swamp, and he's making a beeline right for this scrape. And I'm like, oh, he's going to check it. He's going to be 25 yards away, and it's going to be over. So anyway, he gets like 6 yards from me, and he's like directly underneath me. And I didn't like that shot, and I'm like, he's right here. He has no idea I'm here. He's got to come up and check the scrape. It's right here. I'm going to get a perfect shot. Well, he never went up and went to the scrape. He worked behind me, and when he, got into my shooting lane behind me, he was at like 20 yards, which would have been perfect.
Money.
So I start to draw back my bow, and the string is hitting on the top steel cable of my climber. And so I'm, at this point, kind of hosed. I'm like at half draw, can't draw back any further. And
50% still, 150 feet per second, so it shouldn't be too bad, right?
yeah. So
I say send it.
And
Let's take a vote.
It's just perfect that as this happens, the buck decides to just stop. So I'm standing there at half draw for, it felt like an eternity.
6 hours, at least.
Yeah, but long enough to the point where I was shaking really bad because it was so hard to hold this back any longer. And all he needed to do was take 2 more steps, and I would have been able to clear my strap and get a full draw on him. But instead, he decided to turn directly away and walk straight away from me.
I'm glad you brought this up, Tom, because I didn't know that. I knew about this story, but I didn't know that the stand messed you up. You made fun of me a couple years ago because they have that floating stand in the summits. The straps are like long and they hang down, so it's almost like when you how you set yours up when you sit in it, like
it cradles Tom quite a bit.
Yeah, like you use the shooting rail. Like you would be able to set a gun on the shooting rail.
No.
Yeah. You use it as a shooting rail.
I use my elbows to set
Yeah,
off.
but you sit like down below the frame.
When I'm sitting there, the shooting rail is just above my knees.
Okay, when I sit in my summit, I have my seat cranked all the way, and it's because I stand so much, so I don't worry about it. So I have my seat, it's level with the frame.
Gotcha. So yeah.
So when I
that's how I
sit
run
down,
mine.
my knees are above the shooting rail.
Yeah, I'm definitely a
So
little
if-
bit below the shooting rail.
Yeah, so just like that, because that brings your foot platform higher.
Right.
So your string is going to be nowhere near your cable on your top end. So
But it's not as comfortable.
no, that you do lose the comfort. But usually with archery, you're not doing like all day sits.
Yeah.
So
So I just wanted to throw that out there that you do lose comfort by
Yeah.
tightening it up.
yeah, but you gain the mobility.
Yeah,
of
it's a trade off.
a 360, or I shouldn't say 360, but
270.
almost 270. Yeah.
So Tom, back to you.
Anyway, had I been in my XOP mobile setup, I think I would have sealed the deal on this buck.
Mm-hmm.
And that instance is right there was what kind of sold you on climbing sticks and a lock on for bow season anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like you said,
even like the XOP climbers, like yours, or like I have a hand climber. You don't have that. Again, you're losing a lot of comfort because it's a totally different style of stand, but they're shaped so much different. They're more geared for
bow
archery.
hunting. Yeah, I think they are, especially like
A
I ended
Summit's
up
more of an all-around stand. Like you get the comfort and you can rifle hunt out of it.
They're
Like, I
bulky
wouldn't.
as hell.
Yeah.
But it's a trade off. Like the XOPs and Lone Wolf has a hand climber.
Yeah.
They're extremely compact, but
Yeah.
you lose comfort. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. What's more important to you?
Yeah.
See, and I'm a big comfort guy because I like to extend my sits. I know a lot of times, like during archery season, people hunt till 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever, just a few hours. But I've found that if you can stick it out till 11 o'clock or noon, there's a lot of action between that 10 and noon that you might not see if you get uncomfortable and climb down
Yeah.
at 9 o'clock. So I prioritize comfort. I think it helps me stay in the stand longer, which obviously the longer you're in the stand, the better your odds of being successful.
Agreed. So, like you had alluded to, you've got an XOP lock on and XOP sticks. This was your first season running those. What's I guess your overall take on those?
Thumb up, thumb down.
Overall take, thumbs up. The only thing that I did not like about them was bringing them in and out of the woods. I have not found... because the
Do you mean like setup and takedown, or just walking in and out?
In and out of the woods. With my Summit, I throw the Summit on my back.
Throw your pack down through it.
Yeah, my book bag goes right on the Summit, and then I have two free hands. One I carry my bow, and the other one I can...
Catch yourself if you fall.
Yeah.
Pick dandelions.
Yeah, very easy to walk in and out of the stand. With the XOP, I had the stand strapped to my back and the sticks strapped to the stand. And the sticks, the way they packed, they stood about 2 feet taller than my head. So it was tough maneuvering through the woods if there was branches and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I had my book bag that I couldn't strap onto that, so I had to wear it on my front, like on my chest.
Like a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
The backwards
and then
man.
I had my fanny pack full of all of my straps for the sticks around my waist.
So you're carrying a lot of shit.
And then I had my bow. So it was a pain in the ass.
Luckily, I think me and Tom have worked in the postseason since. We're really streamlining his setup for next season. He's going to be able to put his pack on his stand, and he's not going to need a fanny pack anymore. So I think he's going to... Tom's going to be set for next year, but that's all part of it. I think you struggle for a year and you appreciate...
Yeah, there's a lot of learning because...
Oh, yeah.
Like you tried so many different things.
Oh, my goodness.
Like by the time I got my mobile set up, you were like, oh, I tried this, and this, and I modified this and this.
Yeah,
and
I ran a different... I had like a Frankenstein stand that I had for mobile hunting a year before you and I really fully dove into it. So I did a year of, a summer and a season of modding with that, and then ended up upgrading there. So like I've got so many different little things that work for me, and Tom pretty much just went with the XOP setup this year, and then after the season was over, I kind of started showing him different ways to streamline his setup. This year we're gonna work on getting like up the tree in one shot. That's huge, I think.
Yeah, that's how I go up the tree in one shot. I never climb back down until I'm done.
But yeah, so I think that's a fair assessment, and the issue you had with the sticks and everything is one of the big problems I had for a long time. But I think, like I said, I think Tom's going to be totally set for next season with it.
Yeah.
So
Other than the getting into the woods, once I got to my tree, everything else was smooth sailing. Very easy to climb up and down the trail. Actually, not that much. I mean,
it's slower than a climber, but
slower
not
than a
much.
climber, but by a minute or two total setup.
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that easy hang bracket you use? What did you think about that after a year?
I'm
'Cause
all
that's,
about it.
That's one thing I've never used before.
Totally all about it.
So you want to kind of, it replaces the offset bracket
Yep.
on the back of your stand. So if you want to kind of elaborate on how you use that and why you liked it so much better than just your standard
I
offset
didn't even
bracket.
know you used one this year.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm way into it. Basically, you climb up the tree with your stand on your back, and you have your easy hang, and you basically just strap that to the tree. And on that easy hang, there's 3 different.
It's on like a cam buckle that your sticks and stand would strap to. It's like a cam buckle strap with what Tom's
the
about to
easy
explain.
hang, and there's 3 different
Like angled grooves.
angles, grooves, depending on which way the tree's angled.
Yeah.
And you just slide your tree stand
So that it's level.
into
Or plumb,
one of the
however you-
3 slots, and that's all I use to hang my stand. I don't put a second strap on it or anything. I slide it in there and then climb up on my stand. And what's the term you use? Where
Cam
you
it over.
Cam it over, and it's rock solid.
Yeah.
If I were to sit, all day and I wanted to leave the stand in the tree, I would definitely throw a second strap on the bottom.
You don't even throw like one around even one of the Versa buttons?
No.
Jesus. Okay.
Big balls. I would recommend.
We're going to
just-
recommend right now that is not a safe option. You definitely should have put a strap on that because you're literally putting all of your faith in that casting.
You're talking streamline, Nick. You can't be carrying
We're
all
shaving
those-
6 ounces by not using this buckle, okay?
I mean, I have a harness.
Hey, this is
on.
real. This is real talk. Yeah, that's true. He's got a harness on.
I'm always harnessed, always attached to the tree, even when I'm climbing up.
Yeah. So I did want to throw it. Just I didn't realize that that's how you did that all year. Definitely.
Yeah, it worked good.
Definitely use a strap on the stand.
Oh God. Well,
Yeah.
this is real talk, boys.
But like I was saying, if I were to sit all day and leave the stand there, I would definitely. Turns out I should have been putting a strap on it anyway, at least one. But if I was going to hunt all day, climb down, and leave my stand there, I would definitely throw another strap on there.
You would?
I would, yeah.
I know you didn't though.
In hindsight, yes.
Our last hunt in New York.
I put one strap on.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Because I like.
Are you two strapping right now?
I would no strap
I
if
would-
that was a thing.
That's
I
literally
was no
Tom is the nose strap if that was a thing. It's literally-
Yeah, if I was climbing up, hunting, and then packing up, I would, I guess, no strap it. But if I was exiting the stand and then climbing back into the stand, if I was climbing into the stand, I would want a little extra strap.
You would two strap it.
I would one strap it.
One strap.
One strap. I would just one strap it from here on out.
Yeah. And two strap on the climb out.
Yeah. So anyway, that
So
easy
it's
bracket.
There's always something to learn.
That's how you know the easy hang solid.
Yeah, it's true.
Tom has not ended up on the ground yet.
Or hanging from a tree.
I have with not my summit, but another climber. Had to call Nick.
Yeah, Tom, what do you like and dislike about the lone wolf climbers?
I think they suck. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Tom used it one time, ended up about 15 foot off the ground, just sitting on the top rung, and the bottom was at the base of the tree.
Wait, you had a lone wolf climber?
My
Yeah,
grandpa gave it
piece
to
of
him.
shit.
Yeah,
Oh, it was an old one.
yeah.
Used it one time.
Wasn't feeling it.
No, I'm climbing down and bottom drops out and ends up at the bottom of the tree. And,
And
there
you didn't
I am.
have it tethered to the top?
No.
Of course not.
That's a rookie mistake.
You're saving like
though.
3 ounces, Frank.
Streamline.
No, on my summit, I always have it tethered, but this is how this one came.
You ever forget? Happened to me.
And
It's happened, I think, to me. Well, actually, I know it's happened to me.
yeah, because
I
I've
was saying,
gone
was-
to rescue.
yeah, I rescued him too one time. Up
It's
in
happened a few
Climber.
times.
me and Nick were in the barn, and he's like, "I'm taking this stupid rope off." I'm like,
got
"You
my
might want it," and he's like,
Streamline.
He's like, no, I'm never going to use this. Well, we went out hunting that night, and I get a phone call. Hey, I'm stuck up in my tree.
Luckily, it's like not a panic mode. Like you just kind
Yeah,
of
you're
sit
still
there.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, you just sit there. It's not like it's an emergency.
Yeah.
You just can't stand up.
Yeah.
But so back to the stand. Comfort, I would call the Comfort an 8 out of 10.
On what?
Stand.
The comfort.
XOP
Yeah.
since like
No, the stand. Yes, the one I used this year.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 on the Comfort. I could easily do an all-day sit. I did all-day sits, and no problem. You can actually add a footrest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, like one of those bars?
Yeah,
Flip?
that would be. I would like that.
Something maybe upgrade for next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into that. I'm trying to think. The only thing I didn't like, was the walking into the woods with it, but I think we have that
Just
resolved.
the packability.
Yeah, the stand and the sticks lock into the tree like no other. One thing I got to say about the sticks, though, is, and I think this goes for almost any set of climbing sticks, is you always got to keep an eye on the bolts that hold the teeth on to the actual stick itself, because they do tend to loosen up. And
Yeah, because they're not reefed down because you can turn
Right.
the teeth on most sticks.
There's some sticks out there that's not an issue. Yeah.
Blows my mind.
wow.
I've got a set at the house.
Have you used them yet?
No, that's why I don't want to talk about them.
Don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Why'd you even bring it up?
Because I just figured I'd
Because
drop
you
them.
wanted to talk about
Yeah.
it.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it.
So, other than that, the only other new piece of equipment I really used this year was a bow hook from Hunting Made Easy, HME for short. And basically, it's two-parter, and it screws into the tree, and it's like a swivel arm where it like
I used one of those.
swivels
too.
out, and it's pretty
It's
cool.
a real. Mine's a real tree, but they're sweet.
Yeah, it's wicked awesome. Really like it. Have no complaints about it. The cool thing is, so I'm a sitter. In the tree stand, I like to set up my shots. So I'm setting up my stand.
Which you,
If you oh god. Before I set my stand up, I like to visualize where the deer come from, and I'm not very
course.
good at this.
one of the worst.
You don't set up like for deer trails or to like scrapes.
It's all
or
about
anything?
vision, Nick.
If you set up on a spot where there's one deer trail, Nick, I mean, you're wasting your time. The spots where I like to hunt is where there's multiple
Highways, intersections,
coming
clover
together,
leaves.
if you will. Yes. So if you have one deer trail, you're wasting your time.
I don't know about wasting.
Wasting.
I'm gonna have to disagree, but that's a
Has
topic.
nothing to do with what
Yeah.
we're talking.
No. Usually when
You set up for your strong side shot. I get that.
Yeah, but typically when I set up in a hunting spot, deer do come from more than just one area. So it doesn't always work out as my mind envisions
Where are
it.
you going with this with your bow hook?
Clueless.
You like went off this rant on why you liked this bow hook.
Right.
You were ready to wrap it up right there.
No,
And here we sit.
as I was saying, I'm a sitter in the tree stand, and I like to set my tree stand up to where I
Left
can
side.
shoot where I think the deer are going to be coming from the seated position without moving. And I don't like holding my bow the entire time because sometimes it gets cold, and then holding the metal, your hand gets cold.
Yeah.
So with this bow hook, you can have the bow hanging so it's literally right in front of your face, and you don't even have to hardly move your hand to grab it. So there's no movement from, your deer comes down the deer trail. You're seated down. All you got to do is grab the bow and draw back. There's no
When you want to take it off the hook.
no. Yeah, you probably would want to take it off. But that's
So you don't have to turn around and reach
you're not
back
turning
to the
around
tree.
and it's not hugged up against the tree.
Yeah.
That's
why I switched to one of those. Mine, like I said, mine's a real tree, but I like that it's not against the tree. You can swing it out away and put it in a position where
you barely have to move to grab it.
Yeah,
Once you take it off the hook, you're in the position to draw.
My only problem is I have a horrible habit of leaving bow hooks in the tree.
I've done that. Yeah.
I've got some in prime locations that.
Yeah. I used to do that until I spent
Got a
a
nice
decent
one?
amount of money.
It didn't solve it for me.
Well, you're
I've
just
got
dumb.
I've got a hawk.
You make
one,
too much money. That's the problem.
I guess.
So that was solid. I like the bow hook, and it wasn't a new grunt tube. Actually, it was a new grunt tube.
But you've used it in the past.
Yes, but I've used this brand grunt tube in the past, and it's drawn a blank.
Dear Society Extinguisher.
Yes, thank you.
You must really love it.
No, I seriously do love it. It's the only grunt tube I'll.
Yeah, you have been talking that up for a few years.
Yeah.
He's actually the one that turned all of us on to
Yeah,
it.
I know. We all have them now.
Yeah, thanks to Tom. So, Dear Society, if you're listening,
Yeah,
Tom's
Tom's
out here selling grunt tubes.
we're not even sponsored. That's how you know it's good.
We're not sponsored by anything.
Yeah, so take what we say to heart, because
Real talk.
real talk. But yeah, you can go from fawn to doe to buck, all in the same call. It's pretty great. And
wild.
I've had more success calling with this call than any other call I've ever used. So
Tough to go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Can't beat success.
it's tough. Other than that, that was
you're
pretty
all
much
set.
Tom's all done with new stuff.
Yeah, I don't often get new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
I
of
feel
stick
that.
with what's working.
I feel that.
I like buying and selling.
Yeah, you're all about. You've been buying and selling like a used car dealer lately.
It's nice though. I mean, because the thing is, I get stuff that you can't. That's like always out of stock, and you can sell it for retail. It's great.
It's the best.
It's seriously like everything I sell.
Yeah,
is-
you make more money than you bought it for.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because a couple of them, I can buy it on the website, cheaper. I'm like, oh, okay,
Go
go on the
ahead and do
website. They're out of stock. Yeah, I know.
That's why it's this price, cowboy. Give me the money.
Ships tomorrow. No, it works out pretty good. I'm for whatever reason just like nailing down just the perfect system, and I think I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging it, but me and Frank can bounce some things off of our new lock-ons and stuff that we used.
Yeah.
2 different variations of the same lock-on.
Yeah, they're
It's different.
basically the same. Mine's just I have the Lone Wolf Custom Gear DS.5 and Nick has the 1.0, so they're essentially the same stand, just mine's smaller.
Yeah.
And you had a 0.5 for a little bit, but since they're smaller and you're a bigger guy, it wasn't really fitting your style.
the seat height was 2 inches shorter. Didn't like that, and it's too small for me. And I think the weight savings was not worth the comfort.
Yeah.
So I sent that one on down the road. Actually, that guy should have received it today.
Excellent. But yeah, like me.
Today as in like actually today, or
Yeah.
today as in when the listeners are listening?
Today, as in real today.
So a few days ago,
Yeah.
if you're listening.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
like I said, I'm a stander, and you can just flip the seat up on the.
it's perfect for that.
Yeah. And it's a nice, small, compact thing. Like Tom was complaining with shit up over your head walking through the woods. It's as streamlined as can be. It doesn't come any higher than my neck when I'm carrying it. And
What's up with the term streamlined? We've been throwing that around.
I just like to use that word because it's funny because everybody uses game changer and streamline.
yeah.
And I
So
I
we're
like
just
to just
having fun.
Yeah, I just like to rag
I'm not
on.
in with the mobile hunters groups, but
Me either,
Yeah.
but I hear Nick talk about it.
Basically, every new product that comes out is a game changer.
a lot. Yeah.
So
Everyone.
every single one of them changes the game.
Yeah.
Basically,
Whole new ball game. Whole new goddamn ball
yeah,
game.
every there's a lot of podcasts. Every time they get a new sponsor, even if it's something they talk shit on for years, they're like, oh, this new thing, it changes the game.
that's kind of where we might, like, if we ever get to the point where someone offers us a sponsorship, it's like, oh, we talked shit on that product. And
We
like,
will never
yeah.
say game changer.
Yeah, well, the thing is for us, we've already we turned down for some smaller things because we didn't feel like we would use it.
Yeah.
And I think anything that we're going to talk shit on is not something I want to represent anyway.
Yeah, if I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
No.
Like it makes me laugh when I see like a podcast or something like talk about a product like in negative terms for several years and then get sponsored by that said product and all of a sudden they're like, I know we said all this stuff, but like I just didn't really understand how useful this thing really could be.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you like the check. Like,
that's what's so useful.
so that's, I can tell you right now where that's not going to be us. I'd rather not get paid. I mean, because
Yeah.
we get together and talk hunting and drink beer anyway. We're just hitting record.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
Where were we? We went off on a tangent there.
DS.5.
Yeah,
yeah.
we were just talking about
Yeah.
how
Yeah, you and I were running.
basically the same setup, but as a stand, like, because I'm someone that stands, we were talking about stand setup, I always set up so that my shots are standing. I always face my tree, so my bow's right
That's
there.
why I think a saddle would fit you well.
Yeah, and I haven't jumped on the saddle bandwagon yet. I will probably eventually try it just to see what it's about.
I've got some stuff at the house for you to at least try it if
Yeah.
you want in the off season.
Yeah, and I'm sure I will, but like I'm super happy with that DS.5. I have pretty much no complaints. I can fly up the tree with it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It definitely takes some practice to go up the tree in one shot.
Yes.
Because we've talked about that. It's a pain in the ass, and it takes valuable time if you have to set a stick, climb down, get a stick, climb back up, set a stick.
Yeah.
If with the 0.5 or even the 1.0, they strap right to the back. It's super easy to just pull one off your back, put it up, and I'm a fanny pack guy, so I just rock my fanny pack, put my straps in there, strap it right up.
I carry way too much shit in the woods to put it all in a fanny pack.
I don't carry much in the woods. So.
See, I think the Lone Wolf Custom Gear as a system, I think when you put the stand and sticks together, it's a
beat.
very good system. I don't think, me personally, if you're not going to buy both, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because
you got to have both because of the packability.
And I'm saying that not to try and sell somebody to buy a full system. I'm saying that, like, don't waste your money on a $500 tree stand if you're not going to buy the sticks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
if you're
think
going to
you're not
go
gonna
buy
see
Gorilla sticks to
you're
put
not,
on that.
You're not going to see the benefits.
No.
Personally, I think you're going to be upset.
Yeah.
And same
Because
thing.
those stands are designed for the sticks.
Yes, and they integrate really well.
Yeah.
So, like, personally, like I said, if you're not buying the full system, you're going to be upset with your purchase because it's so much more expensive. That's just my opinion. The other thing, the only drawback I saw with it is how sharp the stand and sticks are. Like, literally cutting my straps. Like, I don't know
I
if
haven't had that
See,
problem.
and
But
I
I
think
haven't used it as long as you have.
that
I went
and-
through a whole season, and my straps
Yeah.
are all still fine.
the other thing is you run the standard cam buckle. I go buckleless. So
Yeah.
I run the loop, and the way you're running it, it pulls it off of the stick a little bit.
Yeah.
And where mine, because of that buckleless method, it's right up against the stick, and
Yeah.
it has literally cut straps. Not like to where it's cut through, but
it started to
it's-
wear through and have some strands.
that I've never had on other sticks
Yeah.
and stands. So that is extremely aggravating to me. I really hope that that's something that gets fixed. Not that I'm going to. I just took a deburring tool, which
Yeah.
killed me to take a deburring tool to a $500 tree stand, but
Yeah.
it had to be done for my own safety. And I do what works. I have, like, my bow has electrical tape around the handle because I wanted it fatter. Like, I don't need, something doesn't have to look great to me. Like,
all
it needs
about
it needs to
functionality.
work.
Yeah.
So if I got to take a deburring tool to a stand, or if I got to put electrical tape around a grip on a bow, like, whatever I have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
But that's my only complaint about it. I think it's a really good system.
But like you said, I use the buckles, so I didn't run into that at all.
Yeah,
Like,
so if you're running the buckles, which is what's sold that way,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have an issue.
yeah.
But I also tried the double sticks from them, and I think the packability is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
They pack so good. The only, like, they don't bite to the tree that great, which I kind of saw coming with just
Yeah,
the bolt
you brought that up
standoffs.
before you even bought them.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those things where it's like your packability like, yeah, that's important. But if it's not going to bite the tree right,
Yeah.
is it worth it? And like I said, I'm sold on double steps, not necessarily their brand, but having 2 steps at the same level.
Right, yeah.
I'm totally sold on that. But I'm not totally sold on those standoffs because they didn't bite the tree very well. And I noticed
Because they don't have teeth. They just
it's
have
literally
bolts.
four bolts.
Yeah.
And like I said, I it was a concern from day one, and it was after using it for a year because you ran the single minis.
Yeah,
and
I
really-
loved
and
them.
Loved them. And I ran the doubles because we were just trying to try different things.
Yeah.
And
It was literally just experimentation with all of
Yeah.
the products.
yeah, and the double, like I said, I like the way they stack. I like the way they climb. But as soon as you start getting super angled trees, I couldn't get them to bite very well, and it's just by design. I think they
But
need
most
some
of the
work.
time, you're not climbing those super angled trees. But
No, but I
if you're
hate the
put in a
feeling.
situation where you have to, that is the tree you need to be in. You don't want something that's not going to work.
Yeah, and I learned that I would rather sacrifice some packability
Yeah.
to have a stick that'll allow me to do that.
Yeah.
Because I found myself by the end of the season, like, don't really want to climb that tree because I know my stick's going to kick out.
Yeah.
And that's a shitty feeling for me, like knowing that my gear is limiting me. That's
Yeah.
why I'm constantly
trying new
trying new
things.
stuff because I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing on that. Like I said, I think the stand-in sticks are good, but I think they're new, and I think they need a little bit of tweaking to be perfect.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's in the works. And they're finally actually getting stuff more in stock. That was a huge issue for a while too.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't. Frank, I know you wanted to talk about your broadheads.
Yeah, I tried new broadheads this year. I talked about them a little bit on, I think it was the
Early
Deer
on.
Camp series. When
When
yeah.
you just murdered a doe.
she was done. Didn't
Say he
stand a chance.
annihilated it.
Yeah,
You could
that.
say he annihilated it.
Yeah.
That's good, Tom. That's
So I got I got new Annihilator broadheads. I got them
Oh,
last.
that's what they're called?
Yeah, believe it or not, Annihilators. Look them up. When I first bought them, I saw them at the Harrisburg show last year.
I was
And-
with you when we were looking at this.
Yeah. And at first glance, you're like, wow, that's a really small broadhead. They're short. They don't have a huge cutting
It's
diameter.
like 3/4.
No, it's 0.91 inches.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's because PA and I'm sure other states, but I don't know all the regulations, have like a minimum cutting diameter for broadheads, and it's usually like I think it's 3/4 of an inch. But they far exceed the minimum,
Gotcha.
so they're not illegal in any states. And I had some concerns just because of the diameter of them, but I really like their completely solid construction front to back. The threading, everything was one solid piece machined out, and they look, because that's like a big thing for me, is being able to reuse a broadhead, because most of the ones that come in pieces or they're thinner metal, they break all the time. You either have to buy new broadheads or buy new pieces.
I'll be honest with you. If I shoot a deer with a broadhead, it's over. I get a new one.
Yeah.
But I'm not at your level with that quality broadhead yet.
Yeah, and that's how I always used to be. If I shot a deer with a broadhead, that broadhead was done. Like, even if it didn't look broken or anything, it looked fine. I didn't want to trust that thinner metal, and
For $25 or $30 for a set of 3,
yeah,
just go grab another pack.
So that's why I was really turned on by these things, because they were completely solid. And when we walked up to their show or their booth at the show, they had a car hood that they sent one broadhead through
They were
like
just
30
like
times.
they had a guy just like shooting like 10 yards or whatever, just like
rifling this broadhead through a car hood over and over and over again. And they're super solid, so I was like, yeah, I'll give them a shot, just because I like that solid construction. And couldn't have been happier with them. Me and Brad both bought.
Oh, Brad! I didn't realize Brad bought
Yeah,
some
Brad
too.
bought some, and he shot a couple deer with them. I shot a deer with them. Absolutely loved them. Got phenomenal blood trail for the cutting diameter. Like, it was.
Well, what we realized, your typical, it's a 3-blade broadhead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your typical 3-blade broadhead has very thin blades on all three sides. It's a circle, so there's infinite sides, if you will. But there's 3 blades, really thin, so it slices 3 thin holes. But with this Annihilator broadhead, because it's a solid construction,
They're like
punches
flared in the back.
Yeah, and it's like a bullet hole in the center.
Yeah,
So
it
puts
almost
a huge,
makes a round hole through them.
Yeah.
So they really dump blood out of the hole that they run through.
It literally puts like a bullet hole through them. Essentially, it doesn't. You don't get the shock wave, obviously.
Yeah.
But it dumps blood out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was very surprised at the blood trail that I got out of them. I have zero complaints about the broadhead. I had a complete
Full
pass
pass
through.
through, yeah.
It was money. I have no complaints about that broadhead. I would highly recommend it to anyone. I loved it. They flew really nice, real solid construction. Absolutely loved them. Thumbs up.
You said they
1000%.
flew really nice as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Did you have to tune them much from your field
Almost
points or no?
not at all.
That's awesome.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And talk about the sharpening design on that, because I thought that was a really cool thing that they've done, because other broadheads that are sharpenable aren't doing this.
Yeah, if you have a stone and you just set the broadhead down so that you're sharpening one blade, if you just lay that down, you're sharpening two blades at once. So when you roll it, it takes half the time to sharpen it because you're sharpening two blades at once every time you roll it.
And there's no guessing on an angle.
Yeah, if it's sitting flat, you're good.
It's the right angle.
Yeah, and it's
then
sharpening two blades at once.
that way, so you just rotate it 3 times, and it's all perfectly razor sharp. And
Yeah.
I don't know, for whatever reason, that is what stood out to me. It was like, damn, they really put some thought into this.
Yeah, they were thinking about reusing that broadhead because they know it's so solid, it's not going to go bad or break when you run it through a shoulder blade.
Yeah.
It's still going to be intact, and you're going to want to use it again, so we need to be able to sharpen this quick, fast, and in a hurry.
So, do you know what weights they come in? I know you're running 100 grain. Do they?
They come in 100s and 125s, and they just came out with a new weight. I think they came out with 150s.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple months ago. It wasn't that long ago. They just came out with them. So they have 3 weights now, but yeah, like you said, I run 100s.
Which is
plenty for a whitetail, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good you brought that up. I was impressed with those broadheads, too. I'm not totally sold on them yet, only because I just haven't shot them yet.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I was
until you test something out, you never
yeah,
know.
But you've had a year, you've got to kill with it. That's a big thing, too. Like when guys test broadheads on ballistic gel or something, it's like, you need a kill.
Yeah, you don't get a full feel of something by shooting it through gel.
Yeah.
Until you run it through an animal and see what actually happens, you have no idea.
Yeah, agreed. So, I think that's pretty much about it for gear this year. I don't know.
That's all I've used this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and on the stand, I didn't give a thumb up, thumb down on the stand and sticks.
Thumb up.
Thumb up, 1000%.
I give a thumbs up on it too. I just hope that the sharpness I hope is corrected.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing on that, and I know that takes some more machine work or an extra step, but I think a premium stand.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay that much for something,
that like I said, that's just my opinion, and the consensus online is the same.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that had that complaint with them. So hopefully in the future they get that figured out. Mm-hmm. But that pretty much wraps up our gear for this year. So if you guys are interested in getting some new gear for this year, hopefully this helps. There's a lot of other stuff we've used over the years that we like and don't like. So if you guys are interested, shoot us a message. We can talk gear if you're looking at getting some stuff. Other than that, like Tom said, we're going to be bringing you guys to the table while we talk about the outdoors pretty
keep
soon
an eye
here.
on the Instagram for that.
We'll be posting updates on that. It shouldn't be too far out the gate. Other than that, make sure you guys are all getting outside.